All right, welcome everybody to the Dan and Clifford Show. I'm Clifford. Dan will be back this weekend. We recently went to the HeroClix World Championship down in Memphis, Tennessee. It was awesome. We had a great time. But we're back now to make some videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play Disney Lorcanna. And we're going to be giving away this stack of Disney Lorcanna cards to anybody who likes and follows, subscribes, does all that good stuff. And comment in the section below what your favorite card in Disney is. It could be a card you're looking forward to get, a card you just really like, one that works for your deck that you're using. Whatever it is, just let us know what card it is that you like. Well, let's get into the video showing you guys how to play Disney Lorcanna. Now, before we get into how to play the game, we're going to go over the stats on the card and exactly what they mean. Now, I have this Hades here. And the first thing we're going to point out is this thing in the top left here. That is the cost this character is to play. In Lorcanna, it's called ink. It's your resource that you're allowed to use to summon things. It's similar to like magic or like summoning points, whatever you want to call it. It's the resource you use to draw. In this case, Hades cost 8 in order to summon. The next is this little star surrounding the 6. That is how much damage this character deals, followed by the shield with the 7 in it, meaning that's how much health this character has. Now down here is the last one, which is this little like upside down star shield thing. This is how much lore this character quests for. Lore is important because the first person to quest for 20 lore wins the game. Now I'm going to show you a change here with Mulan. You'll notice that her cost, it has like a little swirl around it. Now what that little swirl around it means is that you can use this character as ink to summon other characters. Characters that don't have the little swirl around it cannot be used as ink. It's an important thing to note and to make sure that when you're building your deck, you have enough cards in it that are inkable that you can use as your resource to summon other cards. The game of Lorcanna is used using 5 different colors. We have amber, emerald, steel, blue, and amethyst, or orange, green, gray, blue, and purple. When you're building your deck, you can use any combination of 2 different colors. You can have also 1. So 1 or 2 colors are the max amount of different colors you're allowed to have in your deck when you're building it. Today I'm going to be showing you using emerald and amber, and just make sure that you don't have more than 2 colors in your deck. It is recommended that you use 2 at this moment because it's just more efficient. There's not really enough cards to make doing only 1 color really all that good, but you could try it if you want to. Now, a deck is built consisting of 60 different cards at a minimum. There is no maximum right now to the total amount of cards you can have, but at a minimum, you must have 60 cards in your deck. It's also recommended to have as little as possible. That way you get cards that are good that you need. Another thing to notice is that for any single card in your deck, you cannot have more than 4 copies of them. You can have 1, 2, 3, or 4, never more. So make sure you don't put more than 4 of one card inside of your deck. At the beginning of the game, you and your opponent are going to decide who goes first. Now, you can do this by doing rock, paper, scissors, flipping a coin, however you guys want to do. I like the method of rolling a dice and seeing who rolls higher. In this case, I rolled an 11, and then your opponent would roll, and whoever has the highest number gets to go first. This can be determined however you want. That's just my preferred method. And then at the beginning of the game, you're going to shuffle your deck. You can shuffle it however you want. You can try to mix match as best as you can. You can do that little like card shuffle that you would do with a normal deck of cards, however you want to do it. And then you're going to draw 7 cards. After you draw your 7 cards, you're going to determine if you want to mulligan. Now, a mulligan is your chance to ditch some cards out of your starting hand to draw different cards. Now, you can mulligan anywhere from 0 to 7 cards. You can do your whole hand or none. It's entirely up to you. So in this case, we'll just say these 4 cards here. You put them at the bottom of your deck, draw cards equal to the amount that you decided to mulligan, and then shuffle your deck. Once you're ready to begin, you start playing. Now, the person to go first does not draw a card. On every turn after the first player's first turn, at the beginning, you will draw a card, except for the first one. So if I go first, I will not draw a card, and I will just continue to play. Now, as I noted before, you have to have a character with this little swirl in it in order to put it into your inkwell. You can only put one character once per turn. It actually doesn't need to be character, one card once per turn into your inkwell. So anybody with this ink, I actually pulled a whole hand of them. You can take them out, show your opponent. They verify that the card can be inked, and you put it face down into your inkwell. Now, this game has a thing called exert. Now, exert is turning your card sideways, saying that you are using it, and then doing whatever effect it is that it does. For ink, it allows you to summon things. So I can exert one ink to play any card from my hand that has a cost of one. So I will exert this one to play him. Now, when a card comes out, they are considered, their ink is drying. It's like a summoning sickness. They can't do anything on the first turn that they are summoned. So I can't attack or do anything with this Duke of Wesselton until the start of my next turn for his ink to dry to allow him to go again. Now it's going to be your opponent's turn, and your opponent's going to draw a card, probably put something in their inkwell and play a card if they can, and then they're going to pass to you, where you draw a card, and then you just repeat the process of what you just did. You're going to unexert any cards that were previously exerted, and then start your turn. So you can take a card that can be inked, show your opponent, put it into your inkwell, and now you can use those two in order to ink something with the cost of two. So I can exert both of these to play Simba. Now, just like before, Simba can't do anything normally. He does have a special ability called Bodyguard, which allows him to enter play exerted. So he's going to be exerted. And then his effect makes it to where an opponent attacks me, they have to attack my character with Bodyguard first. So now, with the Duke of Wesselton, there are two main actions that he can choose to do. He can quest for lore, in this case, he would quest for one, or he can attack an opposing character. And we're just going to cover questing real quick. You exert him, and then you gain one lore. Now, the phone app for Lorcanna is really nifty. It has a tracker on there, or you can use a dice to keep track of how much lore it is that you have gotten so far, because once you get to 20, you win. And then it'll be your opponent's turn, and it just keeps going. At the beginning of your turn, you unexert anything that was exerted, draw a card, and just do it again. Put a card into your inkwell. You can summon up to 3. You could do it separately. Like if you had a card for 1, you could ink 1, play a card for 1, then ink 2, and play a card for 2. You don't have to do it all at once. There's also no phases in this game, so you could attack with Duke of Wesselton, then ink something, then summon another card, and then keep going. It's entirely up to you. Now you will notice that characters like this Rapunzel, she lures for 2. There are characters that lure for 3 and characters that lure for 4 as well. So just keep that in mind when you're playing your opponent. They may have more or less ability to quest for lore. And seeing as that's the main objective, understanding how your opponent's going to get lore and how you're going to get lore is a very important part of the game. Now we're going to cover attacking or being attacked by other characters or attacking them. Now, in order to attack a character, they have to be exerted. You cannot attack like this if they are both unexerted. Neither character can attack each other. But we'll say during the last turn, Hans quested for 3, so he is exerted on your turn. You can then exert your Duke of Wesselton and say you are attacking Hans, in which case both characters deal their attack damage to each other. So Hans has 3, Duke of Wesselton has 2. Duke of Wesselton deals 2 to Hans. Hans deals 3 to Duke of Wesselton, who only has 2 health. Once you get past the number of health they have, they are banished. Banished is this game's version of like KOing or destroying. So the characters that are banished get put into a discard pile, face up, and now they are no longer in play. There are cards that heal and stuff like that, but at the beginning of this turn, the opponent's turn, he would unexert, and then he is able to do whatever he would want to do. And that is how attacking works. And that is how you guys play Disney Lorcanna. The game kind of continues just like that, with you drawing, inking, playing cards, and attacking or questing so that you can get to 20 lore first. And there you have it, guys. That is how you play Disney Lorcana. It's a relatively simple game. There are some effects that cause confusion. If you have any questions on any rules that happen while you're playing, reach out to me and I'll give you a good answer, the best answer that I can, based on experience playing in a few tournaments and from following threads and stuff like that to figure out the rules. I hope that I hope this was informative for you guys and that you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe. Um, Also, let me know what card's your favorite card down below so that you can get in on that giveaway to earn yourself some sweet new cards. The aim of that is to go more towards people who haven't been able to find any cards so that they can start playing. But I'll send them out to whoever. We are separating them into 2 decks so that 2 people get them. Hopefully that will help people get into the game and play. And as always, stay bored, gamers.
And I'm bored.
And I'm so bored of this game.
I'm so bored.